Hey guys, Sammy wants to hear the brand new time-lapse video that isn't that brand new, and I feel like I say that at the beginning of every single video I do a voiceover on. But I actually did this piece in May, and what happened is before I got around to editing, I had a few computer issues. Then I was in a bit of pain because I did like 2 pieces in a row and they took up a lot of time. And the computer that I used to edit videos on, the hard drive died, and so everything that did happen, did happen. And on top of that, I've been sick on and off for like the last month, which hasn't been fun. I thought I had a bit of a cold, and then I got sick, I think Monday, Tuesday, and yeah, that wasn't fun. I'm still recovering, so yeah, I'm gonna try. If I sound a bit funny, it's because I've got a bit of a cold, and yeah, but I'm gonna try and do my best and talk about this piece. So this piece was a redraw of a piece that I did back in 2013. I actually have a video of it on my channel as part of my Flashback Friday series, because I really liked the piece, so I wanted to share with you, but what happened was I used copyrighted music in the video, so I decided that I wanted to re-upload it with non-copyrighted music. But yeah, I really liked the piece. It still is one of my favorite pieces. There are things about it that I don't like and that I wanted to add to the original that I didn't get around to doing, or I couldn't fit in. But you can see her on the right hand side of the screen. But yeah, as you can see, it's a pretty decent piece. I think it's pretty decent. But when I started looking at this piece, I wanted to be able to tell a story with a new piece, and so I had this idea of a vampire bride, and I gave her clothes, which I didn't do with the original, because clothing is kind of that thing that I'm not very good at. I'm still not very good at. But yeah, a friend also suggested that she should have a bare neck, and I thought that was a really cool idea. And as you can see, the colours in it are god awful, and I've learnt so much about colouring, and with this piece I did do a lot of research. I have a book on drawing vampires that I looked at, and I looked at movies and images. One of the movies that I used for inspiration for this piece was Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I looked at the character Lucy, of her transformation into a vampire. That movie is awful. I don't like that movie. I've rewatched it like recently, and I was just like, this movie is so bad, but why are the actors in it so good? I love Gary Oldman, I love Keanu Reeves, I love Winona Ryder. They're probably not the best actors. Gary Oldman is undoubtedly one of the best actors. Sirius Black, Jim Gordon, friggin' Sid Vicious. Was it Sid Vicious? Yeah, Sid Vicious. Yeah. I forget the name of the movie, but he played Sid Vicious. It was about Sid Vicious and Nancy, and it was a pretty good movie. But I forget the name of it. It was probably something pretty obvious, but if you don't know who Sid Vicious is, he's the guy from the Sex Pistols. I only know a couple of their songs, but I think I like those. I really like those songs. But anyway, I digress. Moving on. So yeah, I used Lucy as inspiration, and I actually even, one of the stills from the movie I used as a reference for the pose. I didn't completely use it. I think the tilted shoulders and the hands were and then my head on top of it, like, not my head, but the I kept the face simple, because when I added tone and stuff like that, I wanted to be able to just, I don't know, I don't really know what I'm saying, but I wanted to make the main focus to be on the face, and that's where I spent a lot of time, and I had a lot of fun doing the skin. I loved how the skin turned out, and I really liked the colours that I used to create the skin, to create that pale look, and then to add that pop of pink, like for the cheeks and the nose and the hands and on the shoulders to just give that little flushed look. I think I did a lot of layers on this skin, which I normally don't do. I normally stick to about I normally do a lot of layers on skin. I usually have about 5 or 6. I think I use 7 layers, and I do layers all the time because you know, I'm not very confident with digital art. I haven't been, so I definitely like to work in layers, and I usually have like a method of how I work, and it's just kind of so I know what I'm doing, because otherwise I get flustered. And you know, I only have one of those like small tablets, so I think it would be, I probably wouldn't be too worried about it that much if I had like a Cintiq or something. Definitely something that I would like to invest in, but it's just, they're crazy expensive, especially when you convert it into the Australian dollar. But in saying that, I like the way I work. I found a way that works for me, and a way that is easy. And if you guys are interested, I'm thinking about maybe just doing some maybe like short videos on how I use Clip Studio Paint. You know, not a tutorial or anything, but if a tutorial is something that anybody is interested in, please feel free to let me know. But yeah, so things that I've learned that I need to work on but are getting better in this piece are definitely hair and hands. And I'm not very confident with just really look and pay attention and use references, which is what I did. Like I said, I used a reference from this a screen cap from Bram Stoker's Dracula. I also wanted to include veining, and I'm thinking of maybe doing some more vampires, because I really like how this turned out, and I really like that skin tone, and I think that it's something that I might do. I wanted to do veining like in Interview the Vampire. I think the veining might even be in Bram Stoker's Dracula, but Louis and Lestat and all the vampires in Interview the Vampire have veining, like, because their skin is so translucent. And yeah, I wanted to try that, but I just ran out of time. I was in a bit of a time crunch because I did enter this in a competition, a contest competition. It was the Wacom and just another agency next level contest. I didn't make it into the finals, like into the top 50, but that's okay. You know, these things happen, and there were a lot of great artists that made it to the top 50, so, you know, I can't compete. What else did I want to say? Yeah, so I after this piece, I've definitely felt inspired to kind of go back to my roots. When I first studied art through TAFE, I did a lot of horror-based themes in my art, because horror movies are like my thing. They're my favorite thing. They were my favorite thing at the time, and I found a lot of inspiration for art in those in horror movies. So yeah, I definitely think that more monsters may come. So if you have a suggestion for a monster that you might like to see, let me know down in the comments. But yeah, I think we're getting close to this being finished. Maybe not. I definitely spent a lot of time on this piece. In total, I had about 7.5 hours of footage, and then that doesn't include researching and thumbnailing, which I didn't do on camera. Well, I didn't film me doing, so it was a lot of work. And then there was some stuff in the end that I didn't do, because when I find when I record on Photoshop, it gets a bit laggy and Photoshop freezes. So just a few things that I did in Photoshop. I don't use Clip Studio Paint exclusively all the time. Most of the time I do, but that's it. So here, if you looked at my inspiration board, I added a veil because I wanted her to be a bride. Like I said, I had a story with this, whereas I didn't have a story when I did the original piece. I kind of had a story in mind, and yeah, I wanted her to be a bride, but the veil didn't turn out, so I left it out. And here I'm just changing the color of the wedding dress because it kind of looked all flat, and I kind of wanted to separate the wedding dress from the skin. In the end, I'm really happy with how she looks. She looks very ethereal, which is how I wanted her to look, and I just really love that pop of red on the skin, those red lips, the red nails, the red in the background. It kind of draws your attention to her face. Well, that's how I feel anyway. But I'm pretty much done with speaking about this piece, so I hope you guys liked it. If you want to get her, she is up on Society 6, and there will be a link down in the description below. I think there is a link in my header. I'm also thinking about changing shops. I'm thinking about switching back to Redbubble because I've seen a lot of artists do that, so I might do that. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I have some great videos coming up for you guys, so stay tuned. If you like this video, please feel free to give me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos, hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell so you get notified every time I upload. And if you want to find me on any kind of social media, they're all down in the description. I do take commissions as well. I'm going to plug it here. I'm thinking about changing it up a little bit in a little while, so follow me on any kind of social media to stay up to date with that. And that is it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hopefully will talk to you all very, 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 very soon. Bye!